What's going on, everybody? This is JVB. Welcome to another episode of Post Game Report. Now, this is a little different. I'm trying to do video clips along with audio clips, combine the two, and throw out something on the official YouTube channel for the Post Game Report. It's been a long time. I should have done this from like day one, you figured. But here it is. So, I'm going to try to use gameplay. Here's a video that my son took. I had to use his PlayStation 4 because for some reason I can't put a thumb drive on my PlayStation Pro. So I had to take his PlayStation 4 and hope that he recorded some footage in the past. And here is Batman Arkham Knight. But here's the Post Game Report YouTube channel. I hope that you subscribe and you enjoy it. I'm going to try to do things a little differently with this channel. Mainly talk more about the history of my gameplay experiences. Of course, the guys will hop on and we'll throw in full episodes of PGR as well. Now, I want to just refresh people on how far back I go with video games. I'm 48 years old, and I've been playing video games since I was about 7 years old. So that's probably 79, excuse me. So 1979 or 78, one of those two. I remember playing Asteroids in an arcade cabinet in the Bronx. And this particular arcade cabinet was just sitting in the middle of some giant room at a bodega. And I decided to give it a shot. Somebody gave me money to play it. I think my grandmother was playing bingo or something. I mean, back then, bodegas weren't just grocery stores. It was, you had the number scheme and gambling galore. So it took a long time to actually figure out Asteroids because I was a kid. And then as time went on, because as I stated, it was 78, 79, and then once we moved to Meshulo Parkway in the Bronx, the arcades took off. The b-boy era began. Breakdancing was huge. It was beginning to thrive. I remember having colored beads, and that was how we distinguished our graffiti gang. Now, we weren't a gang where we would fight, but we were a graffiti gang, so we would go around and put up our tags. I had the fat shoelaces with my Pumas, which I still own Pumas now, suede Pumas with the fast shoelaces. So, name belt, name buckles. And I remember every freaking corner, every corner store, which is what we call bodegas, or pizza shop, they had arcade cabinets in them. And I was very fortunate that the store that was part of the building that I lived in had some really good arcades. Or arcade cabinets. One of them being Q-Bird, and I remember playing Q-Bird for 3 hours on one quarter. I beat the high score. It was over 4 billion points. It could have been 4 million. It's a little fuzzy. But I remember beating it. And I had so many extra lives that I kept jumping off the level. And I had to have some kid who was watching me play the entire time. He might have been the landlady's grandson or something. He took over the game, and I begged him to put my name, which was, J-O-E at the time. I begged him. I'm like, please, when you're done, put my name so I could be in first place. And then the great thing about the arcades back then is if you were in a neighborhood, there was always somebody who had, who was really great in arcades or in specific games and had the high score. I was very, proud that I had the high score in Q-Bird, which is not an easy game at that time. And the guy who did have it happened to be like this very popular break dancer and graffiti artist. And he came up to me. He's like, yo, I can't believe he was older than me. He's like, I can't believe you beat my score. I'm going to get you. So that was cool because the arcades gave us an opportunity to talk a little bit of trash in front of each other. But it was always respectful. And then if you did have some type of real issues about video games, you just put your quarter in the arcade cabinet, and that's how you took care of things, right? We didn't take it so personal like people do it today with Twitter, all the YouTube drama. So seeing how people are reacting to video games nowadays. I know I bust balls every now and then, but I do it because I can't stand the hypocrisy, and I can't stand the things that people complain about, like, for example, frame rates and technical stuff that they have no issues complaining about because they have the only thing as a consumer, as someone who loves video games, the only thing we have to worry about is which game you're going to buy, which console you're going to buy, and whether you have time to play them. Because as we get older, we don't have the same amount of time to play these games. So that's all we should be worrying about, and saving our money. Knowing that there's a console coming out, you save your money like you did back in the days. And when you could afford to buy the console, you bought it. Now you have people complaining that, hey, I can't afford multiple controllers. I should be able to use my old controllers. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Because no other industry is going to give you things because you can't afford it. Especially the PlayStation 5 DualShock controller. It has technology that they had to spend money so that people can do research and development for. And of course, they're going to want to sell their brand new high-tech controller because they have to make that money back. And the games are designed for those new controllers. So I don't know why people are complaining, man. It's just people are complaining about everything, whether it's wearing a mask or a controller. A lot of things are just so ridiculous. Growing up when I did, you got to be tough. You got to be hard. You got to learn how to deal with people. You got to learn how to confront people. And it was just different time that I grew up in. And I'm thankful for that because it has toughened me up. And of course, I try to teach my son those particular lessons that I had to learn. But going back to video games, man, the Times Square in the 80s was nothing that kids, it was not for kids. You had prostitution, you had porno theaters, but you had the arcades. And whenever I was able to go with family members, the loudness, the noise from all of the different arcade cabinets going off at the same time, people smashing on buttons, the DJs playing music. Then you have posters of like Tracy Lords on one side, Hulk Hogan on another. It was just people smoking too. That was a crazy thing. Man, it was so vivid. I can remember it so vividly. Like I can remember it's crazy when I hear, for example, when I hear Donkey Kong and I hear the music from Donkey Kong, or I hear a particular song like from Yaz, like Don't Go from Yaz, or The Message from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Those songs or those theme songs from those games, it just brings me back to a time where I was younger. And it's why I love video games, because at any moment I could, like if I play Tempest, I'm instantly thrown back to my early years as a kid, playing Tempest in a crowded arcade where it was a fire hazard. There was no exit to get out, but it was packed too. So, Tron, hearing the theme song for Tron, holy crap, man, that just is unbelievable. And I'm very fortunate to have lived through that. And hopefully I can share those stories. And that's basically what I want to do with this particular segment of PGR, where it's more video-centric and it's more storytelling, but driven by my history with video games. And I like to give people something that they can learn and take with them after they listen to an episode, or in this case, watch. So here's a quick piece of advice. Be smart about your money. Learn about the market. If you have money laying around in the savings, take some of it and invest a little bit of it. And you'll see how it starts working for you. And if you invest wisely and you have dividends coming in, you can put those dividends so that it can replenish your shares of whatever you buy. And then you're going to realize that there's a new way of making money besides letting it sit in a bank account. So hopefully that helps. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Postgame Report. I'm JVB. I'll be talking to you soon.